Man, pick something and stick to it. Have a plan, work the plan. It's not always about finding the next greatest thing and switching to that all the time, right? It's about working your plan and executing your plan. Tearing down that wall of knowing each other is critical to being successful as a team. Focusing on the things in practice that are going to allow us to play with the effort, the execution, block well, get off blocks well, tackle well, make people miss tackles, do those things so that those things are second nature. Our job is to focus on that. The emphasis is on earning trust. It's day in, day out. You have to have consistency. You have to show up every day, do your job. If you're coached on something and you make a mistake, great, fix it the next day. That's how you earn trust, right? That's how you earn the trust of your teammates. That's how you earn the trust of your coaches. That's how you create opportunities for yourself in the game.
Taylor brought the freaking flex.
All right, guys, how y'all doing today? We are back in the Wolf Den with Coach Rod Backey from Nicholls State University, head coach of the football team.
Man, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing good. We're right in the middle of fall camp, so this is the best time of year for me. I really enjoy it.
I know y'all got a lot going on, so before we even get into those things, let's kind of talk about your story and how you got to Nicholls, right?
Yeah. So I grew up in North Alabama. I grew up the youngest of five. I grew up around sports my whole life.
North Alabama.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Huntsville. Yeah.
We got a
Way up in the sticks.
roll tide. We got a roll tide over
That's
here.
it, man. You had to declare early on, man. Alabama, Auburn, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I grew up there. Grew up in sports my whole life growing up, running from ballpark to ballpark. And I went to Jacksonville State to play football. I played there and started coaching there. And the defensive coordinator that I was coaching with got a job at UL Lafayette. So I went there as a graduate assistant in 2011, and I worked there for 3 years, and that's where I met Coach Rebo.
Okay.
And I left for one season. I went to Central Arkansas, and then when Coach Rebo got the head coaching job at Nicholls, I came as his defensive coordinator in 2015. So I've been down here since then.
So you kind of just was like making connections along the way, I guess. And as you made those connections, those guys kind of like, hey, you kind of coming with me. Like, we like your style. We like what you're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. You just work hard every day. You never know in this business who's going to, get an opportunity and what that's going to mean for you.
So, Nicholls, how are you liking it so far? And what some of like the struggles that you've seen coming into this position compared to other positions that you've been at so far?
Man, I love Nicholls. It's such a special place. We got so many great people that are involved in our program, from the administration side to the coaches to the staff members that work in our program to the players. I mean, so it really is fun to come to work every day to get to be around those people. Challenges just adapting to the time constraints. There's more pulls on your time in this role than there were when I was the defensive coordinator. So getting a plan for that and really organizing my time is one of the major adjustments.
So is this your first official like head position as a coach?
Yeah, this is my first time being the head coach.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is like your very first season coming up too?
That's it,
Oh,
yeah.
man. So we about to see what you about to do for us.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Put it to the test.
we about to put you to the test.
That's
see
it.
see
Let's
what's
go.
gonna happen.
Let's go.
So we got week 0 coming up. I know that's a big deal.
Right.
You want to talk about what's going on for week 0? What's happening?
Yeah, big game for us. Such a big game for our community. I mean, there's only 8 teams playing on week 0 in all of college football, and we got the first game in the United States. It's on ESPN2. It's just such a great opportunity for our community, for everybody at Nicholls, for the entire program, for everyone that's involved, to showcase what South Louisiana football is all about. And so we're bringing in a good opponent. It'll be Incarnate Word out of our conference, who won the conference last year, and they've been one of the top teams in our league for the last few years. They've been plays and series away from being in the national championship game. So it'll be a great challenge for us, but one that we'll be prepared for and ready for.
That's awesome. You got anything?
Yeah.
to
So
add on that?
when you started, I guess from the college you came from, what's the size comparison? I mean, obviously Nicholls is on the
Yeah,
smallest
so
side.
I went to Jacksonville State, which is a lot like Nicholls at the time that I was there. They've moved up and they've grown since I was there, but at the time I was there, it was about 8,000 students. It was a regional school. A lot of local guys would go to that school, and so very much comparable to what Nicholls is today. So I was very familiar. They were playing FCS football. That's the level that we play. So I was very familiar with this environment. Same thing was at Central Arkansas. So I did the 3 years at UL Lafayette. That would probably be the one school that was a little bit different, a little bit bigger than where we are right now. But I feel like I got a good background in, these type of schools.
Because I feel like some of those, bigger they don't understand the tight knit community that Nicholls brings. I mean, look, all the sports, everybody shows up, everybody's tailgating, everybody's kind of, some of the bigger colleges. I feel like they do it. I mean, on a bigger scale, but I don't feel like everybody knows everybody. Sort of say.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool for our players because our players get to know the people in the community and get to form relationships with them. And there's no telling where that goes because after football, those guys are working with and for those people in the community. So it's really a great experience.
No, it's good too. Especially it's good for those players because I know that's a big thing, especially whenever employers are hiring anybody. I mean, one of the top people that you want to look for is an athlete, right? They done showed that they have been through school, that they were able to make the grades, that they showed up on time, they were able to do what they need to do, and then they also, on top of that, they handle football, and so now they have the discipline for that also, time management skills, organization skills. I mean, there's just so many things that goes into it to show, whenever these kids are coming out of college, if football doesn't take them anywhere else, now they have a solid platform to succeed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think football obviously teaches the lessons of life that you need. It's an important part of our program to teach the players life skills that they're going to need after football. And I think that's the direction that college football is headed, especially with the new structure of how the NIL world is and the compensation, the revenue sharing. It's starting to look more and more like the real world in terms of employment and compensation for employment and all those things. So I think it's really teaching guys skills that they're going to need to be successful in life.
So can we get your opinion? I wasn't even going to bring that up, so let's get your opinion on it. How do you feel about the whole NIL situation, and is that affecting players that's coming to you or even your recruitment status as far as, you might be looking at this guy, but then all of a sudden you have one of these bigger colleges and they have, I don't know, Ford or GMC that's like, hey, here's a truck if you come and sign.
Right,
You know what I mean? So how are you, how is that affecting you guys?
I think there's been a lot of turmoil in the last few years in the NIL space, and I feel like with the House settlement, we're making progress towards having a working model that's going to work for everybody moving forward. It is a lot like the real world. You go to a company, you work hard, you get compensated for working hard. Your compensation increases as you make more of an impact, and then eventually somebody may try and come get you. Right. And that's what life is about.
Yeah,
and
true.
So, it's about adapting to the changing environment, and that's what we got to do in college athletics if we want to move forward. And so that's our model. Where's this thing headed? How can we develop strategies to be successful, as we move forward in this new climate?
So as y'all adapting, is one of the things that y'all are doing too, or noticing, I would assume, or the high school level now, are they kind of like stepping up their game because now they know like, oh, I might get this
There's
chance in
perks,
college.
yeah.
Like, I might get this chance in college. Like, nah, I need to go. You know what I mean? So is there kind of like a climate change in that?
Absolutely,
shift?
very much more selective from the high school recruiting standpoint. Now, you have the market of available players is flooded with all these college guys. And at one time there was a stigma about a transfer. Hey, this guy, doesn't fit in, all those kinds of things. And I think that stigma is gone, and for good reason. There's a lot of good players and good people that are in the transfer portal that you can bring into your team.
Well, I
But
mean,
what?
yeah, look at Joe Burrow.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. One of the best examples. And what that's done for high school recruiting is it's made them step up their game. Now you have to be more selective about the high school players that you're going to take because you're picking between them and maybe a older player that's coming from another college that you could have on your team. So I think from that standpoint, it's just become more competitive, and the cream always rises to the top.
Right.
Absolutely. Hey, question. So on those deals, how do they structure that? Like, is there a certain cap they keep them at, or like?
For what?
Like, I don't know. I don't follow it that much. I
For the
know,
NIL
like,
you
then,
talking
yeah,
about?
the NIL. Like,
I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to explain.
I mean, are they making some serious money on these things? Some of them.
Some people are. So with the new house settlement, there's two different things that are going on. You have rev share, which is coming directly from the universities to the players, and that's capped, I think, around $25 million. And
Oh wow, okay.
that's a lot of the Power Four schools that are spending that on their players and distributing it throughout the roster, right? And what they've been able to do because of the settlement is now clean up the NIL space to where if you're getting an NIL deal, it's not necessarily for you just to go to the school. You actually have to deliver on the contract and do things, that would represent the company that you're striking the deal with.
So like basically that's like an energy drink or something. If they would, so basically now they have to go on their socials and hey, got this. I'm drinking. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not
have it in
just
their
getting the
hand.
energy drink and show it in the camera.
That's why it has to be legitimate, right?
Yeah,
Like
right,
you're not
like,
just getting the
You're
money.
holding, you're,
Yeah.
holding, you're holding the energy drink at all times or whatever.
It's got to
company it might
benefit
be.
both parties.
Right. It
That's
looks a
great.
lot like the professional model where,
Right.
somebody's got to deal with Gatorade. You're seeing them in Gatorade commercials. They don't just have the deal and get paid and never
Yeah,
do
'cause-
anything.
yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize it was that kind of money,
Oh,
though.
no,
That's
oh,
great.
yeah, yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
I remember whenever they first started giving them out. I know it was Olivia Doon. She was like kind of like the head start of it all, right? She was the first one to get the most amount of money from NIL deals or whatever. And I remember she wasn't really like you didn't see Olivia Doon in no commercials or no nothing like that 3 or 4 years ago. Now you look at her, she's in Raising Cane's commercials, like she's in all these things. So like she's in Sports Illustrated magazines now. So like they're actually pushing them to actually, I would assume.
crazy.
But she's out of college, right?
I think she's out now.
Yeah, she's out now. So
Yeah.
that might maybe be a different scenario or something for her.
Right.
Maybe now she's kind of like progressing in that career. But I did notice that like she wasn't doing any of those things before, but now she does.
Right.
So I mean, like one of our guys, he actually went shoot the Raising Cane commercial that she was in Baton Rouge. He was like a second hand on the film set for him, and he said it was a really cool experience. He got to meet Ty Graves, Livy. It was cool.
Man, it's great. It's just, those people who, have that marketability, like why wouldn't they have that opportunity to make money off of their name, image, and likeness? And I really think we're headed in the right direction for cleaning that up and having people be able to capitalize on some of that, like, she was when she was so popular at LSU.
So, what is let's talk about like actually your football program. What are some of the things that you've been focusing on making sure that y'all succeed this season?
Yeah, we talk about having a championship environment every day, and that starts first with our team. And our goal is to be a team, and we know that football is a team sport, and to be successful, everybody has to operate that way. We got to have the common goal. Everybody has to have the same rules every day and the same standards every day of performance. And then we got to be together in spirit. So we work on those things all the time. It is about being a team. And the most successful programs are the ones that, are teams. And it's not about the individual success. It's about the success of the team. And we talk a lot about high standards and accountability of those standards. And, if we do that, that way we don't have to focus on, all the different variables every day. It either is or isn't when you focus on standards and accountability. There's certain ways that we do things every day, and we expect the players to do them that way, and everybody understands that. And once all of that is communicated, then, man, there's a clear pathway to success.
Oh, that's awesome. I saw the new building that they had built. Did they implement a lot of things into that building that gave y'all new availability to equipment and new things to progress your players too? Like as far as like, I don't know, I know like for the baseball team, they got like the track man and all that they can test their stuff. So is there some things that y'all also included within that new building? Because I never got a chance to like go explore the whole work. I did, but I didn't like really go look into everything, right?
Right. No, we have great facilities. And we're in FCS football. We probably have some of the top facilities in all of the country in FCS football. And what it allows us to do is operate every day without having to make adjustments and, bring a projector into a room to have a meeting, or, we got 12 people meeting in a room that's big enough for 6. We got space, we got the right things in place to where we can operate every day like a championship program. And so none of those things, get in our way of having success. We have the covered practice facility that we're able to work out in and practice when it's thunder and lightning outside. I mean, there's no limitations to what we can do and work every day.
No, that's awesome. A lot of our viewers, they're actually, some of them are kind of younger. We have some high school viewers, right? So, I mean, what would be like 3 good tips that you would give a high school athlete that's trying to perform at a college level? What would you kind of give them 3 tips that would say, hey, this is what you need to do to be able to make it to this next level? Right,
absolutely. So we want guys that are going to buy into a team concept. So obviously you have to listen to your coaches, right? You have to work hard every day. That would be probably the number 2 thing. And then number 3, man, there's all kinds of different advice and things that are out there. There's so much information available nowadays, right? Man, pick something and stick to it. Have a plan, work the plan. It's not always about finding the next greatest thing and switching to that all the time, right? It's about working your plan and executing your plan. So
Staying consistent, kind of.
yeah, staying consistent every day and, buying into something and doing it.
Do y'all ever run into like I guess the way I would look at it is probably be one of the bigger struggles is I guess coinciding the football aspect with the athletics. I mean not athletics, I mean academics. Like trying to get the players on board to, I guess they got to keep it at a certain grade point average
Right.
to better perform. Because I remember when I went, look, we had a couple guys in my class and he was mad one day, man. He was throwing shit. He was like, they were like, look, you're not gonna be able to play today or the game. He was like, what? And they're like, look, you got to get your grades up. And I was like, I ended up talking with him after. I'm like, so what you gonna do? I was like, I don't know. I guess.
Guess I gotta get my grades up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
it was-
question, man. We start from the very beginning. If you're sitting in our very first team meeting, you're going to hear us talk about our mission, and that's to help the players develop as people. It's to help them develop as students, and then also as players. And we mean that when we say that. So we talk about high standards and accountability. It's in all three of those phases. We have systems in place to help players excel academically. It's our job. We see them every day. So it's our job to enable them to be able to be successful in the classroom. Our goal for GPA for a team is 3.0, and we were at 2.9 this past spring. So we're very proud of that we're headed in the right direction. Man, we want our players to be successful businessmen. We want to be successful employees. We want them to do a lot more besides just be football players in their time at Nicholls. That's going to grow the program as much as anything, is that those players go off and have success, and that we were a major part of them being able to have that success. And man, I was 18 to 22 years old too. I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to do those things, but I needed people in place to help guide me, and that's what our role is as coaches with those players.
So whenever you're talking about that, I know some of the other teams, I know they go like food drives or whatever the case. Are y'all implementing some of those things too for the within the community?
Yeah,
for the
so
football players?
community service is a huge part of our program. We did 17 in the spring. We did 17 different community service outreach programs throughout the spring. Every player on our team did at least 2. We assign them things to do once, twice a week. So we're looked to get to 30, 40 of those things a year, where players are out in the community, they're in the schools, they're in the food drives, they're helping set up for community events. It's just such a big part of, building life skills for the players to be able to be successful after football. And also even within our program, once you get guys involved doing those things, they start to open up a little bit more. They start to have more relationships on the team, and it helps grow that spirit that we're looking for within our own team.
Absolutely. No, that's actually that's awesome. I like that a lot.
Well, no, it is cool because I guess from your standpoint, it's got to be cool to watch them grow and progress later on, and then come back to you and be like, "Hey, coach." I don't know if they do, or if you get someone reach out to you and say, "Man, the lessons you taught me kind of got me to that next step in life."
But then also, I mean, I'm sure so far, have you had any players that you've coached that's like kind of like I like
Made it
that
big?
that made it big yet, or not really?
Like in the NFL, you're saying?
Yeah.
I've had a couple guys just along the way that have had some pro careers for a different amount of years. And, the thing that sticks out about those guys is, man, the work ethic and all the things that we're talking about that we want to embody with our own players now. I mean, you can tell when those players are around, that they're going to be successful because they have that work ethic, they have that passion for the game. They do all the things, to be successful in the sport.
And even the extra things too that's even not required, right?
All right.
Like that, I love whenever I hear people talking about if they have like some like sports success stories. How I remember Kobe Bryant. Everybody they all leave whatever training practice or whatever. He's going back in and he's shooting. He is just consistent, staying on it. Tiger Woods. Everybody else is going to the clubhouse to get drinks after the practice round or whatever. He's going to the tee box and he's hitting balls. So it's just like. I feel like it's those guys that really put their head into it and really go that extra mile. That's the ones you're gonna see in the pros.
Yeah, man. Pro athletes, man, that's something really special. And I mean, those guys have something deep down inside of them that drives them, and you can see it. And Kobe Bryant, that's one of my favorites, all time. Him and Tiger Woods, those guys, just the passion they have for the game, and like you're saying, the amount of work that they put into it, it's just incredible.
Oh, it's crazy. I know some of them because like. I got big into golf at one point in my life, like just speaking on the Tigers part, and I had a golf simulator in my garage. I was repping 75 swings at minimum in the morning, And I remember I would be sore, I would be hurt, and then I mean it got better over time. We had the simulator for probably about a year and a half or whatever. But I mean, I know them dudes are hitting like probably swinging thousands of times a day, right? Making sure that ball's on that one little spot on the whenever it hits the club face. So just the precision, and then the same thing that goes with football. I mean, whenever that ball releases out of the hand of a quarterback, that ball has to go exactly where you know what I mean? So it's just like the level of just that these guys understand physics and just the understanding of just general how things move that people don't understand. That's not
Just the level of endurance.
No,
I was
well,
exhausted watching whenever we went
not
for
easy a thing.
No, it's
easy.
not. Look, I couldn't do. Look, those guys were running back and forth on the field for the Manning Passing Academy thing. I was exhausted watching. I'm like, man, I'm sitting here.
Yeah, well, how was that for y'all?
Man, awesome. We have, between the offensive line, defensive line camp that comes in the week before, the Manning camp, and then our camp that we do with Ortho LA. Man, we got 3 of the best camps in the country that come to our campus, and what a great opportunity for us. We get all of those people to come to Thibodeau, to see our facilities, to be around our community, and people fall in love with the place, and for good reason. There's so many good people, and it's such a great setup. And I talked about facilities. People come and they're like, oh, my goodness, I didn't know you had this. NFL general managers, man, this is such a great setup, NFL coaches, and they just admire what we have here, and we really do have something special.
Wasn't Nicholls like one of like the first people to actually build like one of the newer rec centers, and then LSU ended up designing theirs off of Nicholls?
Yeah.
Something like that along those lines? I'm pretty sure something happened like that.
Probably. I mean, we got a great rec facility at Nicholls, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
And and then just the level of money that I know that's getting pumped into Nicholls right now. So I mean, I can only see big things coming. I know we got a bunch of new buildings coming up. I know. Are y'all adding anything else to the football program?
The football I think we're pretty set right now. I mean, you constantly see projects going on around the facility to clean some certain things up, but you're right, man. The buildings, we're selling that to our recruits when they come on campus. You're going to be proud of this place. You come to Nicholls in 8-10 years from now, with what's going on right now, you're going to be proud of what the university looks like. I mean, there's $100 million probably of building projects that are going on campus. It's a beautiful campus. So there's no telling where this place is going to be.
Or I don't know if this is too much information we could cut out if we need to, but aren't y'all trying to connect that practice field some type of way to the building, or is that just some type of BS I heard?
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I don't know about any projects like that.
I thought that they were like, the new field with the big covering.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that they were going to try to like maybe connect that to the like the back entrance or whatever.
Oh,
on
book vault.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got the walkway.
That,
I don't know if they'll put anything over
like
there.
an actual building.
Yeah, a building or something. I know they got some things coming online. I'm not sure where the footprint's going to be.
I didn't know. I think I just heard that. I didn't know if that was like a real thing or not.
Yeah,
That's
I just don't know.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. I was shocked the last time I went because look, since I've been out of college over there, it is totally 180 complete difference since I've been there. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I told my wife, I said, man, look, I was like, they didn't have half of this.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really is incredible.
It really is.
Even since I got out of college, I graduated in 2020, and I mean they didn't have the that football building on the football field. I could tell you that in 2020, I'm pretty sure. They added probably 3 or 4 buildings since I left. So I mean, they're moving at a fast. Nicholls is moving at a very, very fast rate right now.
Yeah, I think it's credit to the leadership, Dr. Clune, JT, athletic director, and those people. They have a vision for what the university and what the athletic department is going to look like, and you get to see, progress towards accomplishing that vision every day.
Well, you know what else I think that Nicholls does a really good job at? I think that Nicholls does a good job at finding the right people for the right positions, right? Because it is a smaller college. It's not as big as your other ones, right? And some people might look at it like, oh, Nicholls, like what? But then the people who actually come to Nicholls and work at Nicholls, they fall in love with it, like just how you were saying, and they want to stay here. And it's a different environment, and then also it's still a high level performing environment. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like if you just come and check us out, you might want to stay.
Yeah, no question, man. It's a unique place, and it takes the right people in the right positions to be successful. And we really have that right now at Nicholls.
That's awesome. You
Man, I'm kind of interested, switching gears a little bit, but you coming back from Alabama, coming down here, what no, look, I always laugh because, look, I know there's some culture shock stuff. Like, it's got to be, like, what was the, like, I mean, are you into all the seafood stuff, and or is it?
Oh, I think you're going along the line. Who you going? You
No,
gonna stick
well, we're
around?
gonna get into that too. I want to still know if he's at the time, but
who-
I'm just curious about the food aspect. Like, I know a lot of, I mean, look, up north, some of those people are like, oh, that's bait. You're not.
So when I moved down here, I originally thought like, man, the seafood is going to be incredible coming down here, but it's everything. Everybody takes so much pride in whatever they're cooking. It's crazy. If it's a hamburger, if it's hot dog, if it's whatever it is, steak, whatever, it doesn't matter. People are taking so much pride in everything.
You need to come to him whenever he cooks. We're gonna invite you. You need to come.
Oh yeah, we can throw
Dude,
down.
I'm telling you, this dude right here, bro. It don't matter what it is. If it's just a fast spaghetti or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he'll cook it real quick on a Friday. Everybody gets to go eat. That whole thing is wiped out. I mean, clean. But it's every person in South Louisiana. Everyone can cook. So it's just like, no matter where you go.
Well, it's
you need
crazy.
good
Everybody's
food.
got their own spin on it too. So
Yeah, and it's everybody. It's the men, it's the women, it's everybody that can cook. It's
So
crazy.
where your heart lies.
What's that?
Where your heart lies.
So I grew up.
I knew it.
Here we go. Here we go.
He didn't switch.
Originally, my dad is originally from New York.
Uh-huh.
He grew up in Buffalo area. And my mom is from Indianapolis, and Huntsville is kind of a melting pot. It's not all just Alabama people that grew up there. So I actually loved Notre Dame growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't get as much into the Alabama Auburn thing. If you ask my brothers and sister, they would say Auburn. They loved Auburn, and I had a couple siblings go there, but yeah.
I just didn't want you to say. I just didn't want you to say Roll Tide, man.
I wouldn't do that to you.
I thought that's where he was gonna go with it too.
I was hoping not. I was hoping not.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, just being your first year, I mean, what you thinking? You thinking you gonna be at Nicholls a while, or?
Yeah, I go to work every day. Man, I love being at Nicholls. I love what we have going there. I told you I grew up at Jacksonville State as a coach, and this is the level of football that I'm really passionate about. And I look forward to the future at Nicholls and what we can do with this program in the next 10 years and growing it and making it a national contender and, competing for a national title. Because I think where we're starting off now is way different than where we were 10 years ago when I originally showed up as the defensive coordinator. We got things in place to be really, really successful here, and so I'm working every day to make that happen.
Is there any players that we should be looking at right now that you think are gonna? I mean, I don't want you to show no favoritism.
Yeah.
Don't think like that.
Yeah, you about to get
don't,
it.
I don't. I'm not. You know what I mean?
Why
But
you
like,
didn't shout me
is
out,
there any
coach?
kind of? Is there any some of them that's kind of like that? Hey, they probably about to have a good season and they know it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, we got some really talented players, guys that are returners that stick out in my mind. Hayden Shaheen, playing linebacker for us. He's going to be a 6-year player out of Catholic High in Baton Rouge. He started every year that he's been here. Jake D'Amato.
Oh, I already know Catholic High. They breed athletes.
Yeah,
I already know he's something. So.
In everything.
Oh yeah, I know. Doctors, lawyers, athletes.
Right.
It don't matter what it is. Like I actually knew a guy, and he worked at we went to a restaurant. It was actually one of my old girlfriends, and it was her older brother. He went to Catholic High, and he had on his Catholic High ring. And the waiter happened to went to Catholic High too, whole meal comped. Nice restaurant.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like it's like if you go to Catholic High, you got a bond. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut.
No,
cut
you're
on.
good. No, you're good. Jake D'Amato's another linebacker. Had a big year last year. He's back, but it starts up front. Those guys, man, they benefit so much. We got a nose tackle, Rasheed Lovelace, who's going to be a junior, who's a really good player, one of the more dominant players in the conference on the defensive line. So those guys stick out on defense. On offense, you see guys like Scrappy Osby, who made a bunch of plays down the stretch last year, really coming into his own as a wide receiver. Miguel Brock is a running back who was freshman of the year in the conference a year ago, and look forward to seeing what he can do with the full season. And then Deuce Hogan at quarterback. That guy, man, he's been everything you want your quarterback to be since the first day he's got on campus. So really a good group. Got some offensive linemen, Joe Bradford, Samaj Scott. Those guys stick out and made a lot of progress since January. So we're excited about all of those players and
So
a bunch
go-
more too.
Good foundation then. So
Yeah,
looking like we're about to win some games. Huh?
let's go.
Man,
That's what we want.
Yeah.
There ain't
then.
no other choice.
Right.
Yeah.
We can make it. We gotta make it happen. How many games is it, or do you actually play in a season?
We're playing a 12-game
12.
schedule.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought it was 12. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know for sure because I didn't know how this worked. I didn't know if like week 0 was considered. Is that considered an official conference game?
Yes.
is?
So what that does, that moves that game up on the schedule and gives us another bye during the regular
Oh,
schedule.
okay, I got it. That's actually cool. And look, I know we already talked about it, but just for the viewers and stuff, this week 0 game really is going to be a very, very big deal for Nicholls State. This is the first time that we ever hosted it, right?
Oh yeah.
First time that we ever hosted it. Literally going to be the first college game on national TV. So ESPN is going to be there.
That's
They're going to be
crazy.
videoing it. If you're in the stands, if you're coming out to the game, you know, as many people we want, y'all come out to that game for sure. We want to have it as popping as possible, right?
Yeah.
We want the stands to be fully packed. We wanted to show, you know, what Nicholls State football is about to look like this year and, you know, provide the community with a good program, I guess you could say.
Yeah, game's at noon. You don't have to wait till noon to get there either. You can get there early.
we might
and
go
start
tailgate it.
I know I can't speak too much on this, but I think we got a couple of things in the work that we got trying to do for some of the games that we'll try to give the school life more of a more things to do, I guess you can say, rather than going to the game and then leaving and going straight to a bar or something like that, right?
Right.
So we gonna try to implement some things with throughout different businesses in the community. That's gonna throw some things for some of the students, and we can start having some cool events at Nicholls State, you know, and show something that we can be proud of.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, we just want to keep on trying to build up and build up and build up, and I feel like if you keep on building, there ain't no slowing down. So knowing week 0 is the most important game of your college career that's coming up, how are you getting your players mentally prepared for that game, and what are you doing to kind of get yourself prepared for that game also?
So there's a lot going on with that week 0 game that's outside of the game of football, right? And we have to do an excellent job of compartmentalizing some of those things, right? In football, the game's going to be the game. We're going to have a brand of football that we want to play every week, whether that's in week 0 or in week 10, right? Our job as the football team is to focus on playing that brand of football. So focusing on the things in practice that are going to allow us to play with the effort, the execution, block well, get off blocks well, tackle well, make people miss tackles, do those things so that those things are second nature. Our job is to focus on that. And then for our players, yeah, there's going to be a lot of attention, a lot of things going on outside that we're going to have to compartmentalize. We're going to have to put things in the drawer, take care of things, understand that that stuff is separate from the game and doesn't impact the outcome of the game. So just educating our players on that. They all understand those things and how they're unrelated to the game itself, but educating them so that they can handle those situations when they come up.
So, like, I guess that goes into that. Do you have, like, anything that you specifically tell your players or that you kind of route them towards, you know, like, hey, guys, I know this is a big game coming up, but let's keep the noise out of those other things. And at the end of the day, the game is the game. So we're
Right.
going here to play the game. Let's cancel the noise out, and let's play the game like we're going to play the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. So throughout the year, we have these things called phases where we talk about what's important when it's important. And at different periods of the year, different things are important for us to focus on, right? When we get to week 0 in the preparation for that game, the game itself is what's important to focus on. The things that are outside and external from the game are not important to focus on. Yeah. So creating that awareness of, hey, my plays, my execution, you know, preparing my body to play in the game, the conditioning, having good relationships with my teammates, all those, that's what's important. These things are not. We got to focus on the focus at that time.
All right, that's actually really good. Do you have anything that you want to throw in on that?
The only thing I would ask is, do y'all? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of training and conditioning that goes in before these games. But do y'all do any like other team building exercises that kind of take it? You know what I'm saying? Like other companies, like it may sound silly, but I know a couple companies like they'll take their team to go do some of these like escape room type things or kind of different things. It's team building, but you don't realize, you know, it takes you away from actually, I guess, the monotony of working and kind of the football aspect.
Yes, throughout the spring and the summer program, we would do these things called the Universe Championship, right? So we would split the team up, 120 guys. We're splitting them up into 10, 12 teams, and we would play out the Universe Championship every week. So this might be a kickball game, might be a
Okay.
wiffle ball game.
Like
I
that.
think the last one we did was an NCAA PlayStation tournament.
Like that.
We
Yeah,
cook,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
We
cool.
got
That's cool.
we got
That's
some
cool.
coaches. They get on the grill. They cook burgers. We have a great time. We take it really serious in a fun way, but we take it serious. We give out awards. We give out medals. We do those things to put guys together that wouldn't necessarily be together and have them work together to try and win in a competitive environment, which is the name of our game. So we do a lot of that stuff, and it's really important. You don't get as much time this time of year to do it because you're preparing to play a football game, but it's important that we did it in the spring and in the summer. Some of those guys, when we split up the teams, they're looking around, they're saying, hey, wait, who's this guy? And they got to meet him, and they got to get to know him,
Right.
which is important because I think tearing down that wall of knowing each other is critical to being successful as a team. And along with that, like we do a lot of bringing guys together and having them lead the meetings in different ways and do different stuff in those environments just to help tear down that wall of knowing each other and make everybody more comfortable.
I like that though, because that's also building those leadership skills. I mean, you get these guys and they're speaking in front of their whole team.
Well, you're
So
taking
it's-
them out their comfort
Yeah.
zone. I mean, you're getting them to do different things.
right, right.
They
Like
don't even know they're working together. At some point, they're just playing a game.
What-
You know,
Well, then at the end of the day too, they probably I would say they might even be a little nervous, because now they got something on their shoulders. They like, I need to make sure that I get out what I need to say, and that the team understands what I'm talking about, right? And I guess, I mean, are they pumping them up too at the same time that they lead in these meetings, or is it more just kind of like this is a preview of the last game, or like what how does
Oh no,
how
it's
do those
it's
meetings
fun
go?
stuff. It's energy. It's,
Okay,
it's
okay.
bringing energy to the meeting. It's starting the meeting.
okay
It's coming up with something to get everybody involved and everybody's attention as a meeting starter and things like that. So that's big. We talk about one example would be just cell phone service, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars of service, right? We challenge our players to try and increase the bars with the different players on the team. So think about how connected you are to that player, man. You may be walking by him in the hallway. Hey, is that one bar? Do I have one bar with that guy? Maybe I need to talk to him, find out a little bit more about him, because things are going to be challenging. We're going to have challenges that are going to show up in the football season within a game, and those relationships are really going to matter at that point.
I really like how you
That's
put
a
that.
cool
No,
analogy. I like that.
I like that because it actually that kind of reminds me of like my own analogy that I heard in a podcast once a long time ago. I can't even remember what it was, so sorry for whoever I'm quoting and not giving y'all credit, right? But the guy was like, you got to think about life and all of these different buckets and what you putting your rocks in. Are you putting it in family? Are you putting it in sports? Are you putting it in this? Well, I almost consider them as the same thing. Take it at all the players. Don't give one player all your rocks in one bucket, Give rocks to other players in the bucket too, right? So make sure that it's well spread throughout everybody and not just one person and one person showing favoritism. And now they might, I'm sure that correlates to so many different things as far as like maybe the quarterback might be real cool with one wide receiver, so that's his favorite that he's throwing to, right? So like I'm sure to mitigate those things, that's where that comes into play.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. It plays a huge role in accountability too, because a lot of our accountability programs and systems are set up as very team oriented, right? So if you and I have a relationship and I know that you're going to have consequences for what I do, then I'm going to be more accountable to the standards of the program and those things. And so I think it goes a long way. Those relationships are huge for
No.
so many different reasons.
For sure. So being in preseason, what would be the most important thing that you guys are focusing on right now to lead up to week 0? Like, what are y'all dialing in right now to make sure that y'all are prepared for that next game?
Yeah, we got 3 main objectives in this preseason camp. Number 1 is get good at football. And there's a lot that goes into that. And
Right.
a lot of the team building things that we've discussed already are things that have to take place in the spring and summer so that you can have enough time during preseason camp to get really good at football. So that's fundamentals, that's scheme, that's individual techniques, and that's really important to our team. Getting in great condition for the opener. We have to be acclimated to the heat. The game is at noon. We have to be in great football condition. You can't practice in pads and a helmet year-round. So this is the only opportunity that we have to do that. So creating those circumstances for us to be able to execute in those environments is really important. And then the third one would be continuing to grow as a team. But right now, the emphasis is on earning trust. It's day in, day out. You have to have consistency. You have to show up every day, do your job. If you're coached on something and you make a mistake, great, fix it the next day. That's how you earn trust, right? That's how you earn the trust of your teammates. That's how you earn the trust of your coaches. That's how you create opportunities for yourself in the game. So everybody has to operate to that consistency, and those would be our 3 objectives.
That's actually really good. I like that. What about, so speaking on that, where is this other team that we're playing for week 0? Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from?
They're out of San Antonio.
Texas?
Yeah.
Okay, so they in the dry heat, so it's
similar. But
yeah. Well, I was just wondering if they might have been like in another type of climate, because I know sometimes even affecting like Nicholls, right? Does Nicholls ever travel to any like northern states and play in snow or anything like that ever, or no? That's not a thing.
We have in the
Yeah.
playoffs. We've gone and played in the snow in Eastern Washington. We've gone to North Dakota State, which is in a dome, but still up north. And we hope to have a lot of those opportunities here moving forward.
Well, that's what I was about to say though. Do you almost think like that gives Nicholls football team an advantage because we're in these crazy amounts of heat, humidity, everything else, and then now it's almost like we go to a different place, and let's take snow aside, because I know that's a whole different ball game,
Yeah, that's
right?
what I was about to
Slippery,
say,
wet,
that's-
whatever. if it's snowing or whatever, but I would almost feel like it gives our players an advantage as far as like endurance on how much they can handle mentally before they break down, just because they training in this crazy heat indexes in South Louisiana year round. So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like we almost have the advantage on a lot of things because of that reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Tour de France riders that go ride in the mountains in the less oxygen. So there's all kinds of factors that play into a game that you have to be aware of, and heat is definitely one of them. And us being able to prepare for the early season games in our climate is really a great advantage for us. If managed the right way. There's a lot of factors that go into that. You can't just throw everybody out there in the heat on day 1 and expect to still have them out there on day 3.
Right.
So there is a process to acclimating the players to the heat, to where when you get to that early season game, your team is prepared, and you've been able to have the right amount of practice time, but also the right amount of acclimation time to the conditions.
So for Nicholls, what does success look like for this team, and not just in a winning standpoint, right? What does success look like all around?
It's every day. It's championship habits every day. It's our team, working to a high standard, being accountable to that every single day. It's the culture that we have within the building, the amount of enjoyment that our players have in what we're doing, the amount of progress that we're able to see them make at the different challenges we present to them. That's what success looks like. We can't focus on outcomes. We got to focus on those daily habits and what it's going to take to be successful. And if you truly believe in your process, which we do, and then you focus on every day looking the way it's supposed to look and correcting it when it's not and seeing the progress on the next day. And that's what success looks like.
So whenever you have a player that, they might grow and they might do these things, but then all of a sudden something might hit them and they might regress, what would you do in that type of situation?
It's really, truly about identifying and fixing problems. It really is. You identify, hey, this is not going right. What is the correction? And then you fix it. Whether that's football, whether that's a running back's aiming point on a certain play, or a linebacker's key on a read, or, that's outside of football. That's a guy who's maybe not paying attention in class or going to class when he should be, identifying what the issue is, and then, creating a solution and him fixing it. And ultimately, it's going to be the player that fixes the problem, but our job as coaches, much like, a physician or something like that, is to identify problems and provide a pathway to success for the players. And then it's great to see once they do that.
So what you saying that is one of the things that y'all implement, because I know it's different, and I know some players get it like this, and then some players just don't get it. But as far as like intuition and like what's going on in the field, and then if they see something change up or whatever, does that correlate with that kinda, as in like, hey, be ready for a mix-up if they might change a play, or if you might see a formation that they might be running on one side, but what y'all called isn't really set up for that. So does that kind of correlate with that, as far as like being able to be flexible and change and know what to do in the right situation? Or is that something that y'all calling out from the sidelines because you're seeing that, and so now you have to let your main person on the field know, I'm just curious, like
Yeah.
how does that go? Is that maybe you mainly, or your defensive offensive coordinator picking that out, or are these players also picking that out and just understanding, hey, this is what these guys are potentially about to do. This is where I need to be at, and this is what we kind of need to change up, right?
Yeah, definitely a combination. It's preparation, and it starts with our coordinators in each phase of the game, and on offense, defense, and special teams, and our position coaches that also work with the players, identifying what the issues are going to be. And it's preparation from the standpoint of, you build a base that the base can handle, anything that would likely come up, and then you make adjustments as they present themselves. So that's what we're working on right now, is building that great foundation, that base, to where our plays are good versus whatever the team shows us, right? And then you narrow that down to your opponent, and then you're only dealing with a couple unusual things that take place during a game.
So y'all pretty much ready.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
We got a lot of work to do to get there, but we're on the right track.
That's good. That's good. There's one.
Yeah, as far as the players, like, you always hear on. I'm gonna kind of compare this to like the New Orleans Saints, for instance. You hear their roster and like you may have a few injured players. Do y'all have anybody that's kind of was expected to be ready for this game, or somebody injured, or y'all pretty much you got all your guys pretty much healthy?
Yeah, we've been fortunate to be very healthy at this point in the year, and so we're happy about that and excited about the guys.
So I guess basically my final question for you for today, I want to know honestly how with you coming in, this being your first season, what tone are you establishing to your players and to the team that's Coach Rybacky's version of, hey, I'm in this program now, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it. I want to know, what kind of tone are you setting for the players?
It's the things that we've talked about, that it's going to be about the team first, and that everybody's going to buy into that. And then it's also going to be about the high standards and accountability every day. That's going to be the cornerstone of our program to help us have a great team. And our players understand that every single day that we get in there, that's what it's about, and that's what we're working to do.
Man, I don't see Nicholls having a bad season this year for football, that's for sure.
No, sounds good to me, honestly.
I mean,
I'm looking forward to watching some games.
I mean, I can't wait for week 0. We're gonna be out there for week 0. We'll Brady Brand will be filming that game, so we'll be pumped up and excited to see what happens for it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you all, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on and talking with us, man. We appreciate it.
Oh.